Welcome into the live stream here for McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal. That's Tyler.
What it is?
How are you?
Doing good, brother. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Been a busy weekend, but was just listening to a short Oklahoma City Thunder related podcast about Vasily Micic. So I'm sure that you're locked into that.
Yeah, I do know the draft is Thursday night.
Draft is Thursday night.
That is as far as and I know who the number one pick is going to be.
Yes, and after that, it literally could get it could just go by could go by the book, or it could get a little crazy. There's some wild rumors out there. So, and there's also some teams in the top part of the draft that probably don't want to be in the draft, and they might move their pick if they can get an asset. So
yeah,
stuff might happen.
I'm trying to get. I was telling you right before we started, all these emojis on the side of the chat. Is this new? I guess it's new.
I've never seen it. I don't even have it now. So, like when you hit it, I don't even see it.
You don't see it floating up or anything? I have a heart emoji, smiley, confetti, surprised, and 100.
Oh, no, I don't have that.
I'll hold your computer over there, Neal.
Oh, wait, there's a bunch of stuff.
You see it?
Yeah, but I'm not sure.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready to go for the. I would be all in on the NFL draft. I mean, NBA draft. If I feel like the best players I didn't get a chance to watch, right?
Yeah, probably. I've watched Wembanyama a lot over the last couple of years. He's come along a long way. I'm a huge Scoot Henderson fan. Just think he's tremendous. Watched Brandon Miller a lot at Alabama.
Watched him. Is he still gonna go third?
He might even go second. You probably saw Anthony Black at Arkansas, Jordan Hawkins at UConn.
Yep.
Cam Whitmore at Villanova. Villanova wasn't very good this year, so you probably didn't see him a whole lot.
Not as much.
You probably haven't seen the Amin Thompson and All-Star Thompson. They played at Overtime Elite, which was just, I've actually watched some of it. It was horrific. Jarris Walker at Houston, really good player. He'll go 5th, 6th, somewhere in there. Grady Dick at Kansas has a chance to be a lottery pick.
Okay.
It's an interesting draft because after 2, it's a whole bunch of guys that. So history says of the lottery, almost by the book, 3.5 to 4 of the each lottery, 3.5 to 4 guys will end up being all NBA, all-star players.
Okay.
Another 3 or so will be NBA starters, impact bench players. Okay. Another 3 or 4 will be bench guys who have a role on an NBA team. And 3 to 4 will be total bust.
Huh.
So
which one are you?
And so when you take one, like the Thunder had 2 picks last year and 3 picks in the lottery. One was Chet Holmgren.
Yep.
We don't know yet. Odds are pretty good that he's going to be a really good player. They traded up to get Ousmane Dieng, who, if you made me bet today, I'd bet bust. And then they drafted Jalen Williams at 12, the one from Santa Clara, not the one from Arkansas, who at this point looks like he might be an all-NBA player. So you still know.
Yeah.
Just don't know.
Hey, before we get started, Austin came in with a super chat, and he is in luck. He is right up my alley. These are 2 of my expertise here.
Mm-hmm.
Says, hey, guys, just a different type of question today. Any advice on the first time out-of-state move? I'm in ministry and potentially bound for Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Hey.
Oh, sorry.
Bada Roll Tide.
Sorry.
I love it.
Pick a team.
First of all, moving to Alabama, if it's your first time moving, I don't know how much stuff you have to move if you're a family or you're by yourself. But if you're a family, hire the move. I've moved like 14 times now.
Yeah.
Like 10 cities, 14 different houses. It's much easier, much less headache when you hire somebody.
And just let them do as much of it as possible.
Yeah. Let them pack, do everything.
Yeah.
Let them do everything as much as you can. Now, it's going to run you. It depends on I don't know if sometimes the company will pay for the move and things like that. It's easier to do that when they're paying for it. When you do it by yourself, my first bit of advice, being in a moving expertise, is before you move, throw away every single thing that you're not, or give away
Yeah.
everything that you haven't used in the last 3 to 6 months. It
So
will be a lot of
when we
stuff.
moved here from Spanish Fort, obviously I was on the hook for the move, and I sent Laura and the kids out of town.
You did it by yourself?
I said, "Get out."
You did it by yourself?
Well, the kids were little. Carson was 1, and I took a week.
You boxed everything up and everything?
Yep.
By yourself.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder Laura loves you. Dude, moving married will test a relationship.
It will test a relationship. There were a few times when she was unpacking, and she's like, "Why'd you pack this?" I'll say, "Stop asking questions. Don't do
Yeah.
don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. It got stressful."
Yeah, but the closets especially, clean out your closets.
Yeah.
Purge before you move.
Purge first,
and
and then pack.
then decide whether you're paying or you're packing.
Right. But either way, purge.
Either way, purge. And then as you're moving to the God's country, which is the great state of Alabama, which is the best state in the union.
Pick a team. I'm kidding.
No, don't pick a team. You should, go pick South or Troy or UAB. Be different.
Prepare for especially in the ministry, you'll encounter it constantly. It is an incessant topic of conversation.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, we'll get rolling.
Let's go.
Welcome into another edition of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. That is Tyler Siskey. That was weak.
That was a 0.2 out of 10 on the old crack of the can right there. My apologies to Rain, Monster, and everybody. That was a very poor attempt.
So Monday, June 19th, probably a fairly short show today. I've got workers coming into the house. The AC is in the process of being fixed. It's a lot better now than it was this time yesterday when it was like a sweat box up here. But they're going to be up in the attic, so you might hear noise and stuff. And if you do, it just is what it is. But we'll probably be pretty quick today. We're going to go do today. We'll do a show on Thursday, and then we're going to take a little siesta.
Yeah, you didn't give me a courtesy chuckle on my gift that I sent you yesterday from Airplane. The pilot.
I was too hot.
You were hot and bothered yesterday.
Well, I was working on 2 recruiting things, and I was working on. I'll let you behind the scenes a little bit.
Okay,
you'll like this. So there was a kid from Tuscaloosa, Rivals 250 defensive back.
Yeah, from Hillcrest, right?
Yeah, who
good player.
Visited Mississippi State, visiting Ole Miss. And the widespread speculation in the industry was he was committing to Mississippi State. Okay. Widespread. And I talked to a couple of national Rivals guys. I was like, hey, I'm hearing some buzz that this kid Banks might be Travaris Banks is his name. I hate when I go, this kid. The young person has a name. Travaris Banks. I said, there's some buzz that it's Ole Miss. I said, do I need to get ready for that? And I got no, it's State. And I'm like, okay, but check. See if something's changed. And I realized kind of.
Something always changes.
And I didn't blame them here. My field progressively, more and more has turned into fanboys.
Okay.
And so fanboys don't think the team they cover is losing a kid until it slaps them square in the face. It's where I had to remind them. I'm like, hey, kind of remember who you're talking to here. I'm not the cheerleader guy. I'm just telling you I'm hearing this. I could be wrong, but check. And so to their credit, I think they went, he's got a point. And they checked. And sure enough, I got messages back. Yep, it's Ole Miss and, stuff like that.
See, what had happened was.
So, yeah, that's what happened.
Okay.
So it was a little interesting. But I was doing that. I was doing 10 Thoughts. It was hot. It was hot up here. I was just drenched.
We had baseball all weekend. We got Friday, got to Memphis and played at Lausanne High School the first game.
Mm-hmm.
We got an inning and a half in before we got stopped. And so we drove all the way up there, played an inning and a half, and then it was done for the rest of the day.
Weather.
Yeah. Lightning. And it's lightning that we had a delay. And then right when we were getting ready to crank it up, the bottom fell out. And then Saturday got 2 games in Saturday, and then we played at Memphis, University of Memphis. Is it Memphis University or University of Memphis?
University of
I
Memphis.
always get that jacked up. We played on their field, on their game field, and it had rained crazy amounts, on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
And so Saturday, all that water's in the turf, and the sun comes out, and it is a sauna.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, our poor catcher, he was about to die. I mean, and he caught both games. Good for him. He's tougher than nails.
He dropped about 10 pounds that day.
I don't know. He's tough as nails.
We're brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits, achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. All right, I got a quick ick. You always have the icks?
Yep.
I have an ick.
Okay, shoot him.
I can't do this on the morning show because Chase will not.
We're breaking all kinds of rules around here.
Chase will not, and I understand it. It's probably smart on his part. He will not go into political topics at all. This is not really political.
This is the I don't give a shit show.
This is a pet peeve, though. There's a big story kind of out there in the world right now.
Okay.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. did the Joe Rogan show.
Yeah.
And Robert F. Kennedy, whose father was Robert F. Kennedy, who was the younger brother of John F. Kennedy, who, in case you didn't know, was a Democratic president.
Yep.
Elected in 1960. He was assassinated in November of 1963. We've talked about it. Robert Kennedy was the attorney general, working for his brother, and then was a senator from California who was running for office, a senator from New York, I should say, running for office, and he was in California in June of 1968 when he was murdered at the Ambassador Hotel.
Correct.
It's the Kennedy family. Ted Kennedy, who was a longtime senator, was also the uncle of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who has some very interesting thoughts on a lot of things, including vaccines. All vaccines, not just the COVID-19 vaccine, but all vaccines.
Right.
Some very interesting things to say. And Joe Rogan, who I guess it was previously known before his podcast as much for what he did with MMA as an announcer, correct?
Right. Fear Factor, comedian, all that stuff.
His podcast, the Joe Rogan Factor, is, I won't say it's the number one podcast in the world,
gotta be, huh?
but if it's not, it's way, way up there. He's making a gazillion dollars from Spotify. And the reason that Joe Rogan's podcast is so good, in my opinion, and obviously a lot of other people share this opinion because they listen to the show,
Because he gets paid a lot.
is Rogan does two things. One, he gets a lot of different kinds of people on his show, and he lets them talk. Okay? So he does. He lets them talk. So Rogan allowed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to talk. And at the end of an 18-minute answer to a question, Robert F. Kennedy thanked Joe Rogan for letting him talk. Now, Rogan never said, you know what, you're right. Everything you're saying is right. Or you're wrong. Everything you're saying is wrong. He just listened. And a lot of people listened. And it led to, at some point, Rogan challenged, because there was the attack dogs came out immediately against Robert F. Kennedy. He's a kook. He's a whatever. And again,
Right.
for the record, I'm not saying he is or isn't a kook.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not someone who's dug into vaccines. I have a very strong opinion about the COVID-19 vaccine. I don't really have a strong opinion about the other vaccines.
Right.
But what he said in that conversation was absolutely interesting. It was thought-provoking. It made me curious. Okay. I'm probably representative of a lot of people. Things I'd not really heard before, explained in a way that made me go, huh. The link to autism, perhaps, that kind of thing. Listening. I was listening. So, of course, Peter Hotez, who's a doctor who came out very prominently during the COVID pandemic, that I guess we've recently declared it over. And Hotez, of course, came out critical of Kennedy, at which point Rogan told him that he would give him $100,000 to the charity of his choice if he would come to the show. And Hotez lives in Texas. Rogan is based in Austin now. if he would come to the podcast and debate Robert Kennedy Jr. A conversation, have a debate.
Correct.
And since then, that money has been pledged up to about $1 million.
Wow.
To the charity of Hotez's Choice, $1 million. It's a lot of money. And of course, the answer is, "Oh, I'm not doing that. There's no. Why would I do that?" And it's been led to people.
I'll do it. I don't even know the topic. I'll go debate whoever for whatever.
But it's led to this. Well, why would we do a debate with a guy who is an MMA guy and a guy who was an environmental whatever. He's turned into a right-wing loon. His candidacy for president. Oh, by the way, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is running for president as a Democrat. And see, Drew's kind of playing into what I'm about to say. Drew says polio would still be a thing if not for vaccines. Again, that's not the argument. The point is Robert F. Kennedy says this. There's an opportunity on the biggest stage. I hate to break it to the elitist. No one's watching CNN anymore. Okay? No one's going to CNN for the news anymore. People outside of the elites, they're not going to the New York Times for the news anymore. They're listening to podcasts. They're watching YouTube. That's where they are. And so if and perhaps it's true, if what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said is dangerously wrong, then take the money, go on the show, and prove it. Discuss it. Eliminate the skepticism. Go on and do it. Rogan's going to let you talk. It's the one thing about Rogan. He lets people talk. He did 3 hours with Ric Flair, which leads me to this.
Woo!
Leads me to this. If I were to talk to, pick a sports person, pick someone.
You talk about like a personality?
Yeah, whoever. A person in sports. A person in sports. A player, a broadcaster, anything. A person in sports.
Hugh Freeze.
Okay. All right. Seriously. If I were to sit down with Hugh Freeze for a 3-hour conversation, we're going to talk. That conversation is not going to be limited to nothing but football. We're going to talk about other things. We're going to talk about family.
Yeah.
Probably would talk about his faith.
His golf game.
Probably would talk about his golf game. Would talk about fishing. Would talk about things that he enjoys. We would obviously talk a lot of football because Hugh Freeze gets paid millions of dollars to coach football. But for me to say, hey, and if Hugh Freeze started talking about golf and he gave some opinions about golf, I wouldn't say, well, how the hell do you know any of that? Hugh, you're a football coach. If I were to sit down with the surgeon, James Andrews.
Yeah.
Got 3 hours with James Andrews, which would be fascinating.
It really would be.
We would talk about elbows and knees and how he got into surgery, but we'd also talk about his background. I'd want to know about things. And then I'd ask him about things you're interested in. Literally, if I had 3 hours with Lane Kiffin and I was going to start, I would not start with football. I would start with fishing. I would start with growing up the son of a defensive coordinator. I'd talk about moving to different places. There would be things I'd talk about. I would talk about the uncomfortableness in social settings, like, because I share that some. We would talk about things well beyond, hey, tell me about the spread offense or Amari Cooper or Matt Corral. We wouldn't focus on nothing but football. If I did 3 hours with you, getting to know you, I wouldn't be, all right, tell me about the recruiting business. That's it. Nothing more. No, we would talk about other stuff.
Right.
So it's one of the things people like about Rogan is he has an ability to talk to people about different things. And it's interesting.
100%.
And he lets people talk. It's not a soundbite. It's not a gotcha. He lets people talk. And he has people on there that sometimes they're talking. I'm like, man, that dude's a kook. But he doesn't treat him that way. He lets people talk. He challenges people. But we've lost that, man. And we've got to, no, you can't have a debate. Anyway, that's my ick. I'm done. No. It's my ick. It bothers me. It really does. We just got through with 3 years of, let's be real, we got lied to. And people are skeptical and people are cynical. And the faster that the elites and the government elites understand that, maybe they don't care. But the faster that they understand that there's a real skepticism that's out there in the public, It's widespread.
I did not, and it's just me personally. I never really thought about a lot of real conspiracy theories. I'm not
Sure.
talking about like JFK and all that stuff. I'm talking
Yeah.
about just I didn't question a lot until the last 3 or 4 years, and now everything I question.
See, Drew's doing it. So, Drew, you just fell into the trap. You said we don't need to legitimize idiots, no matter who they are. I think you're wrong. I'll be honest. I listened to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Drew. I'm not an idiot. I mean, I call myself an idiot, but I'm not an idiot. I mean, I joke around about the master's degree, but I had to write a thesis. There was work. I have one. I'm not an idiot.
Would it surprise you if I told you I have one too?
No, because I know you're a smart guy. I listened to it, and he didn't come across like an idiot. Now, am I vouching for his accuracy? No, I'm not. I don't know. But he didn't come across as an idiot. And so in the event that he's wrong, as they're saying dangerously wrong, well, then debate him. You're not legitimizing him. You're debating him. You're debunking him. But that's the and Drew, you're falling into the trap, bud. The people that do that, we just have to trust the government. No. 3 years ago, we got lied to by the government. It happened right in front of our faces. And the media was complicit in the lie. They told us that we had this terrible killer disease that was out there and it was going to wipe us off the planet. We shut down the schools. We shut down our businesses. We shut down everything. We increased our debt like a giant damn hydrogen balloon. We blew it up. And then in June, when a police officer in Minnesota killed George Floyd and that we launched into these protests, the one thing about the protest, everyone starts marching hand in hand, arm in arm, up and down streets all over America. Violent riots, peaceful protests, the whole deal. But in the midst of all this, a lot of people like me were like, wait a minute, I thought we were locked down here. I thought it was too dangerous to get out. And they asked Fauci, what do you think? Should these people be out there? Well, I don't really want to talk about that. Well, I kind of want to hear it because I'm kind of curious. I mean, this is either because if this virus is smart enough to go, okay, well, we're going to leave people alone on the protest, then we're done, right? And it turned out to be what people like me sort of figured out after a while. So this thing doesn't do anything to healthy people. And YouTube got me a strike. I'll probably get another strike on this one, but that's what happened. And so after 3 years of that, I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. When people like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. say stuff that comes across as, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I don't know that calling him an idiot's not probably the right thing.
My man Connor comes in with, you didn't have to hit him with the bud uncalled for.
No, it's true.
So hang on. So it's definitely skipped over my generation. This doesn't bother me even in the slightest. But Connor works with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Clay, they all work with me. They tell me all the time. I was always like, I appreciate you, buddy, or whatever. They say that's degrading.
Oh,
and
I get over it.
Pal, buddy, skip. they got all these words.
Get over it. That generation.
I don't understand
y'all are targeted. Y'all are triggered way too easy. Get over it.
It does, but it cracks me up. So every time I want to piss them off, I'll just say, "Hey, appreciate you, buddy," and they just it gets them all riled up. But that's good. Mm-hmm. Hey, Austin came in with another super chat. Thank you, Austin. He says it's because there's no money in debating, only mudslinging. I will say this. All kidding aside, I will say this. I enjoy debating. I enjoy discussion, as some of your loyal fans will understand. I don't understand when you start debating, like people take it so personal.
Yeah.
If you don't agree with, but that's where our society is, right? If you don't agree with whatever, if you're not 100% in agreement,
right,
or on the same page as the person you're debating, they take it personal.
And you're a racist, and you're a bigot, and you're all these things.
It's just they just don't.
Right.
You can't have peaceful debate's not the right word. Healthy debate, I guess, is the right word.
Sure, of course.
And any subject, sports, politics, religion, it doesn't matter. If you're not somewhere in the last, I don't know, 15, 20 years, in my opinion, we've turned into where it can't be healthy. It can't be a healthy debate. And maybe it's me in coaching. When you go in, it's one of the, I've said this before on the show many times, many episodes ago, but one of the very valuable lessons you learn in coaching is when you go in a room, if you're on a healthy staff, okay, a
Mhm.
really good staff. You'll go in a room and you'll talk about the game plan, or you'll talk about, I mean, it could be weird stuff, right? The path of the back on inside zone, or whatever it is. And you're having these, you have debates, and you talk about, I think we should do it this way. I think we should run this. I think we should protect it like this, whatever, right? You're going to listen to everybody's suggestions, and then you're going to have to leave that room with a decision.
You just described why Nick Saban does so well at what he does.
Well, it's not just Nick.
No,
It's everybody.
but he's a great example.
I mean,
He hires staffs that he wants their opinion. Now, ultimately, he's going to make a decision,
Right.
and his decision goes. But he's going to listen to people,
But-
and I'm sure that he's listened to people at times and said, "You know what? He's right. We should do it that way," and he has changed his mind.
and part of the culture of the staffs, the good staffs I've been on, and it's been, I mean, I've had this with Hugh, I've had it with Matt Luke, I've had it with Joey Jones. I've been very fortunate where just about every staff I've ever been on, every staff I've been on in college has been like this. Steve Roberts, the whole deal. But you learn very young in coaching is like, look, you may think we should go 5-man protection on this, and this play's going to work, and you come out running the triple option. But when you leave that room and you go in front of the kids, you have to sell it like it was your
Right.
idea.
Right.
You may completely disagree with it, but you have to be on the same page, and I just think that's what we're missing here.
All right. I've run through. I've put us way off schedule, and
Sorry.
we are on.
I'm rolling.
We are on a schedule today. So real quick, I want to tell you a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. It can be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when faced with a challenge in life, but when you learn how to find your own solution, there's no better feeling. A therapist can help you become a better problem solver, making it easier to accomplish your goals, no matter how big or small. I've used therapy. It's a way to handle stress, clear negative thoughts, relax a little mentally. It was a life changer for me. It increased my happiness. If you're thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, it's accessible, affordable. It's entirely online. You can get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey. And hey, you can switch therapist anytime. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/MPW today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/MPW. Our next partner is Athletic Greens. I drink AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day. I gave AG1 a try because I wanted better gut health, sustained energy, immune system support, and I just hate taking a lot of pills. I drink AG1 every morning. I love knowing I'm doing something good for my body, giving my body the nutrition it craves, and covering my nutritional basis. Covering my nutritional basis for the day literally couldn't be easier, which is why I trust Athletic Greens. I just mix one small scoop of AG1 with water and drink it first thing each morning. Done. I also like that it costs less than $3 a day. Pretty good if you ask me. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality sourced ingredient. It's a win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need for your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/MPW. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/MPW. Check it out.
All right, I gotta give the podcast listeners a little update. We talked about baseball karma
Mm-hmm.
and the baseball gods. They do exist. So a couple weeks ago, I came in here all hot about the kid who was talking all the shit at shortstop. That was the SEC commit.
Yes.
It was a little out of control. The coach wouldn't do anything about it. Well, the old Giants played him again this weekend. And he comes out in the top of we were hitting first. He was just a chirping like normal. And he got shut up pretty quick because my man went 0 for 3 with a golden sombrero with 3 Ks. All 3 swinging, because if I didn't do anything else, I really watched this kick. I really wanted to get him out. Has a massive hole in his swing. A lot of these kids at 15, they're trying to do all this launch angle stuff, realizing that, hey, you don't hit it like the major leaguers. So you may hit one out of the ballpark and then fly out 47 straight times. So all these kids are dropping their hands, man, bad. And so when you drop your hands, you can't recover anything about chest high, fastball, 0-2. They swing at everything, and they either swing and miss or they hit it straight up in the air. So it's every single, you watch them, and as soon as and that's what we do for if you're a baseball coach out there, a young baseball coach, watch these kids. If they drop their hands, which is about 80% of them are doing, they're dropping their hands trying to create launch angle. They're not advanced enough to catch up to the high zone, strike zone.
You see the bigs still. A lot of big league hitters strike out top of the zone. They chase that stuff and they just can't get there.
They're looking for all speed. It catches them by surprise. 15 years old, they either hit it straight up in the air or they strike out. So he went 0 for 3 for the golden sombrero. And I really like their third baseman. I'm not going to say his name, but he's actually a Mississippi kid. From around, not here, but 40 minutes away from here. He looked over there and told him, "Would you please shut the hell up?" And I was like, "Man, I like
There
this."
you go.
His own teammate told him that, so that tells you it's bad. All right.
All right, I got a problem here.
All right, what you got?
I want to cheer for the Braves. I like the way they run. I like the way they run their organization. I like a lot of their players. I like their stadium. I've not been in person, but it looks really cool, and I'd like to check it out. They just have a lot of things that I like. That appeals to me. By the way, so do the Baltimore Orioles. Wow, that team's on its way. Anyway, it's Father's Day yesterday.
It was all day
Okay,
long.
it's Father's Day. Everybody's wearing their blue and stuff, and it's cool. It's good. See everybody
Celebrate it.
putting a lot of money towards prostate cancer
Yep.
research. A lot of stuff going on. Like a lot of good things. Charlie Culbertson, who plays for the Braves, his dad, his father, was scheduled to throw out the first pitch at the game on Father's Day. That day. That morning, they sent Charlie Culbertson to the minors. Now, somebody had to raise his hand.
Where was hand raised guy?
And go, hey,
He was on vacation.
we can do this tomorrow. We can.
Yeah, not today.
But we can't do this today. Nope. It's a bad look. Nope. No.
And to Charlie Culbertson of all people, he's like Mr. Utility Man. I mean, he has helped the Braves in so many ways over the years. And just somebody goes down, man, we'll put him in left field. Hey, let's put him in right. Let's put him in third, second, short. He's played it all.
And I realized
He's pitched.
I realized it was just a roster thing and it had to be done, but it didn't have to. You just, hey,
Not to my guy, though.
let's just eat one today.
Yeah.
You know what? It's Father's Day.
Not to my guy.
If someone says, hey, how come y'all didn't do this yesterday?
Hey, well,
this
is what had happened.
See what happened was, come on.
I mean, this is like, I don't know, man. It's like, we all know what he is. We all know he's probably the last guy on the roster.
Sure.
But if there was a danger of you sending him down, don't you just not even call his dad to come? Why don't you get just somebody? Charlie Morton's dad, get him to fly him in.
Just call the Falcons and go, send somebody over to throw a ball.
Somebody.
We'll give him a jersey.
Yeah. But yeah, that was rough. Poor guy.
Bob Huggins, the longtime West Virginia coach, resigns after a bad DUI. I mean, all DUIs are bad, but boy, that one was something else. He's had issues pretty recently. He used a homophobic slur in a radio interview, got warned that, hey, dude, you're a legend, but come on. He resigns. It's June.
It's a tough time, huh? Portal season.
Yeah. My guess is they will do the interim thing for a year and see how it goes.
Andy Kennedy's name's been mentioned.
Andy's name has come up.
You got anything? Just getting breaking news you want to deliver on the podcast today?
I don't. And if I did, I wouldn't.
I know. I know.
I mean,
that was my opportunity. Like you bust my balls. That was my opportunity to bust your balls.
Andy's absolutely a friend. I would be curious to see whether his connection with Huggins, Andy kind of broke into the business. Well, one of his first big breaks was getting a spot on Huggins' staff at Cincinnati.
He followed him at Cincinnati. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, he followed him in an interim year and then got the Ole Miss job. I would be curious to see whether that hurts him or not. It shouldn't. Andy would bring a lot of continuity to their team because, obviously they know him, but he's done a really good job at UAB. He's built a really nice program at UAB. Birmingham's home for he and Kimber. I know he'd love to return to Power 5. And that would be a big opportunity to play in that league. It's a great basketball league.
Isn't it tough though? Like let's say you're getting a sitting head coach, right? Because that's a good job. All right. West Virginia's a good basketball job. All right. So you're going to go and hire a sitting head coach that just took all these portal kids into whatever school that they were at and got them into school in June. You know what I mean? Like it's a weird time for a basketball coach, isn't it?
Yeah. And if you were a basketball coach, whether you're AK or anybody else, God, leaving your team in June as a head coach to go to another team, it's kind of crappy.
Gotta go interim, right?
That's what I expect. And then they'll go from there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I don't know. I have not.
I do. I mean, it's bad. He's been in some issues lately, but as a basketball coach, this is what he's going to be remembered as. That's, I mean, 69 years old. He's
Yeah.
been coaching for a minute.
Yeah.
He's been a very successful head coach in basketball, and then this is what he's going to be remembered for.
Yeah.
All gone down the drain in basically a month.
Yeah. I mean, maybe somewhere
Two instances in a month.
Maybe somewhere down the road it kind of, but yeah.
It's just is what it is.
Speaking of suspensions and stuff, Ja Morant's came down on Friday. I figured it would. Everybody kept going, what's the deal? What's the deal? I'm like, he told you he's not going to do it during the finals. He's not going to he being Adam Silver, he's not going to upstage the Nuggets parade. They had their parade on Thursday, pretty raucous parade in downtown Denver. Everybody had a good time. And on Friday, Adam Silver goes, okay, Denver's had their moment in the sun. They're going to go recover from their massive hangover for a few days. I'm going to go ahead and knock this out. 25 games.
Is it enough? I'm asking my man, Neal McCready.
I don't know Ja Morant.
Because what did he have, 15 the last time?
8.
8, okay.
It's significant. There were some people who thought it might only be 15 games. Jeffrey Wright was on the show the other day, and he said there was a number flying around of 17. There was also a number flying around of 40. So they met somewhere between, closer to 17 than 40. But regardless, was it enough? I mean, we're gonna find out. 25 games is significant. He can't win any All-NBA awards. All the bonuses that would come with that, he loses. It's a huge financial loss for him. I'm sure that a lot of his sponsors are taking a long, reflective look in the mirror to see whether they want to stay on the Ja Morant train or not. I would have to think that the NBA has told Ja Morant, hey, if you don't get this lesson, you don't get this message, the next one you'll get it. Because there might not be opportunity after the next time. I would hope that this gives the Grizzlies an opportunity to sit down with them and go, hey, man, we've given you the moon and the sun. We need you to start giving back. You've got to chill. You've got to quit trying to be something you're not and just play basketball.
And I'll probably get killed for this. I really don't care. I don't think it's enough. I think this was the one you do a half a season, whatever it is. If 82 regular season games, you say it's 41 game suspension. You're suspended for half the year because you don't want to leave any wiggle room. Because the next time we do it, we're taking a year away.
Yeah, sure.
You know, now you leave wiggle room. Hey, next time you do it, we're just going to take a half season. Now you give him an extra chance.
I think if he's dumb enough to do anything gun related in the next forever as a public player, I think.
You think they go all the way to a season the next time?
Yeah. Look,
is there anything he can do to be banned permanently besides like real charges?
I don't think so. I mean, I guess the NBA can do it. The NBA Players Association is going to fight this suspension. I mean, they're contemplating just how hard to fight it right now, whether to go to mediation and all that stuff. If I were advising Ja, yes, sir, thank you. I'm gonna get my shit straight, and come Christmas or New Year's when my 25 games are up, I'm gonna show up ready to play basketball. I'm gonna go work on my game. I'm gonna get ready, and I'm gonna be a model citizen for a while. Yeah. I'm gonna stop the whole personality thing and the people around me. I'm going to get rid of the people around me. And people go, well, you don't understand. I understand money. For that kind of money, I'd get rid of the people around me if they were causing problems.
Yeah, I don't know. I get, I'm the fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. I mean, that sooner or later you got the problem. I was having this discussion with a college coach today about the portal and a lot of things that are going on with the character and recruiting kids is, you know, the portal in football and in all college sports, there is this level of accountability that is being taken away because you're scared to death to hold somebody accountable and punish them because they'll leave.
Sure.
And so now we're becoming I shouldn't say we. There's a lot of people that listen to this show that I know that coach college ball that aren't like this, but they're these, these people. Mm-hmm. They're out there and they're allowing things to happen and allowing things to go on and not hold them accountable because they want to be their friend, not their coach.
Right.
Because they don't want them to leave.
Well, in this case, I'll give Silver credit. He called him to New York. They had a meeting. He felt like he felt like the meeting went well, apparently. I read a story in The Athletic about it. And the word that came out in that story was that he felt betrayed by what happened. The stupidity of it, the brazen stupidity of the video. Just so stupid. He doesn't want that culture. He doesn't want that reputation in his league. He knows Ja's one of the high-profile names in the league, a guy that kids love. Because, look, here's the thing. You look at, like, Victor Wembanyama, who's going to be the first pick in the draft on Thursday night. It's hard to emulate or to look at Victor Wembanyama and go, if I work really hard, I could be Victor Wembanyama. No, you're not. You're not 7'5". Nothing against Victor Wembanyama. I'm sure he's a good kid, but he's 7'5" and he can dribble and all this stuff. Well, you're probably not going to have an 8'2" wingspan. You probably can't. No matter how hard you work, you can't be that.
Right.
And that's like Kevin Durant. No matter how hard you work, you can't be a 6'11" dude who can do all the things that Kevin Durant can do. But you look at Ja Morant, you're like, maybe I could be 6'3". Maybe I could be 6'2", 6'3". Maybe I could get in the greatest shape of my life and I could play the way he plays with this reckless abandon. One of the reasons that so many people love Russell Westbrook in his prime. You could watch Russell Westbrook and go, maybe I could be like that. So that was big. I mean, I just think the league was pissed. But
in talking about Ja Morant, Jack Jones today, about 2 hours ago, before we started our show, said, "Hold my beer and watch this." The corner for the New England Patriots, and the reason this has to do with Ja Morant, because on May the 15th, he tweets at Ja Morant, says, "At Ja Morant, dumb. You letting social media and your pride run your real money. Put them guns down and run your money up. Make one of your homies sign up for security or concealed carry if you feel like you need it that bad. But you are the breadwinner." I'm having to go through this. "But you are the breadwinner. You got to start acting like it." And today, right at a month later, Jack Jones arrested at the Boston airport for having 2 guns in his bag only a month after calling Ja Morant dumb for possessing a weapon. And the charges that he has, he's got concealed. I mean, he's taking a loaded firearm through TSA in Logan International Airport. 2.
Yeah.
1 concealed carry. He's got like an extended cartridge full of ammunition with no license. He does have he had a concealed weapon on him. Like, I just
stupidity.
Like,
that's it. To me, it has nothing to do with the Morant thing. It's just the stupidity of.
Well, he calls him out a month ago on Twitter that he does.
And what he does is 8,000 times worse.
It's worse.
Morant's deal was just stupid in a car filming a video. This is, dude.
Like, what part? Like, seriously. Like, I would like after they get done with all the interrogations, I'd like to just sit down and go, "Hey, I got one question. At what point did you go, what?
No point.
I'm probably going to be able to get this weapon through TSA, not just 1, but 2, and all this ammunition without them stopping me."
Oh, he thought that the whole time.
Like, at what point did that go through
the whole
your mind?
time? Because we put these athletes up on pedestals and we treat them like you were talking about with the coaches and stuff. We treat them this certain way. God, you come to expect it.
I know exactly who it is, but right after 9/11, security changed when we took when 9/11 happened as far as football teams, right? You used to just get on the bus and drive straight to the actual plane.
Yeah.
And it's like a car, like a taxi. You got off the bus, went straight on the plane, no TSA, no nothing. Plane was cranked up and you went. And now after 9/11 happened, they still check a percentage of the guys or whatever and all this stuff. We had an offensive lineman right after 9/11, like the next plane trip, left a hunting knife. It was like he was carrying a duffel bag of extra clothes or something.
Yeah.
And you know how those duffel bags used to have that plastic thing? He had a hunting knife that had slid underneath, and he didn't know it. Dude, you thought we were about to bring down the country.
I'm sure.
It was a bad deal, but anyway.
Walk On Sports Bistro puts everything they've got into bringing you game day with the taste of Louisiana. Dig into their mouth-watering, made-from-scratch Louisiana cuisine. Po' boys gumbo, voodoo shrimp, so much more. 70-plus TVs, 40-plus ice-cold beers on tap. Check them out in Oxford or Ridgeland today. And we're brought to you by our friends at Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, same great people and products and services. The service is really remarkable. I can vouch for that this weekend. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer 662-801. 1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call Southern 662-429-4429.
Hey, real quick, I had some trauma, some unresolved trauma that came up on social media this weekend.
Uh-huh.
So we had back-to-back holidays, one yesterday with Father's Day, one today. And all of the football graphics that have to come out with like Happy Father's Day and all that unresolved trauma. I don't know what it is about this. I don't know when this started, but all of a sudden, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, every single holiday that you can possibly imagine, St. Patrick's Day, Happy Halloween, Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas. Every holiday, these random holidays would sneak up on you. All right. I mean, St. Patrick's Day, who ever thought about it? And some team out there, I mean, we could be at Alabama, it'd be Boston College putting out a Happy St. Patty's Day or Happy Teacher's Day, whatever it is. And the coaches would come in a panic. Hey, we gotta put out a graphic. We gotta put out a graphic about this. And then 3 hours later, so my favorite is the random holidays. There's gonna be we'll find one. I'll guarantee you, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Happy Earth Day. It doesn't matter.
Sure.
Then about 5 hours later, there'll be this rush. And so yesterday was Father's Day. And we tried to get to the bottom of it in our meeting this morning at Quick U. We think it was FIU put out the very first Father's Day tweet yesterday with the jersey that said Dad with a number on it.
Yeah.
By lunch, there were 15 other teams that had the same exact graphic with their jersey and Dad's name, like a black. It's unbelievable. It's just you'll be just sitting enjoying your weekend, and some random holiday will pop up, and it gives because then it goes to whoever's running recruiting. Then you got to call the graphics guy. It's on a summer. He's out with his family, never fails, and you got to wait for him to make a graphic. He's pissed at you,
of course,
because he's got to make some graphic. Then you got to get it out and get it sent out. It is just a nightmare that goes on. All right, I want to talk a little bit about this. I did listen to your show this morning, so I know it's been discussed. I want to talk about a couple other things about it, though.
Okay.
Austin Simmons reclassified from the class of 25 to 23. Got a lot of national attention because people were like, oh, he really reclassified for 2 years. All right. Obviously, I run a recruiting service, so it's easy for me to look up some of this stuff. So he's 17 years old. His birthday is November the 8th of 2005. So he'll be 18 this fall. So he's supposed to be going into his senior year this year if it was like a normal person.
Right.
And he would actually be old for a senior this year. So it's not something that's never been done before. Quinn Ewers did it a couple of years ago.
He's 11 months older than my son, who's going into his junior year.
Okay.
So it makes sense.
Yeah. So he's supposed to be going into his senior year.
Yeah.
All right.
He's an 05 kid.
He was homeschooled. All right. He's homeschooled. And so he finished all of his high school credits through his freshman year, which is last year. So again, if you're homeschooled, nothing that's really unusual. He's gone to 3 different high schools. Okay. As a quote unquote 8th grader, he was at Flanagan High School in Florida, transferred to Pahokee, was there for 2 years, and then just recently transferred to Moore Haven in the spring, where his dad had gotten an offensive coordinator job. And I thought this was, I went and looked it up, but they actually have changed it because I was wondering the reason he was going to reclassify. I thought once I realized how old he was, there was a Florida high school rule that once you turn 19, you're done.
Right.
All right. They actually have amended that rule a little bit, and they've backed it up to where you can't be 19 before July 1st or after July 1st or before July 1st to be eligible. But like when I was at Alabama, Calvin Ridley, he was a 19-year-old senior. He only played in 3 games. So he turned 19 like the middle of, maybe it was 4 games, whatever it was. First 3 games, he turns 19. He's done for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Can't play anymore. And so they've actually amended that rule. But look, I like this kid a lot. He was by far my favorite quarterback in that class because I've spent a lot of time watching him. And I don't watch the highlight tapes. I watch the eval tape. And I think one site, I don't remember, had him like the 3rd or 4th player in the country. I just disagree with it. I think he was the best one in that class available. This kid's talented, man. And I said it to somebody yesterday, and I'm standing by it. I think this is the most talented high school quarterback that Ole Miss has ever signed. He's a left-handed kid. He has unbelievable touch. And really, for a high school kid, knows how to get the ball on time, accurate, and has just immense arm talent. He is not 6'4". He is 6'1.5", Shocker. We talked about that the other day.
Yep.
I got the TikTok verse fired up, by the way. But he's 6'1.5", 186 pounds as of April. So whatever he's grown between April and now. So last, what's that, 2 or 3 months ago, he was 6'1.5", 186 at the beginning of April. The kid's a player, man. I think this is a really, really big deal. If you're an Ole Miss fan, it's a big deal. A lot of people, Florida fans, were pissed, but he couldn't reclassify and go to Florida because Florida was going to lose the other kid that they have committed in the 24 class. And so it wasn't going to work if he went to Florida anyway. So if I was a Florida fan, I wouldn't be too pissed about it because you wasn't going to win anyway. He was going to end up leaving to begin with.
Right.
So he probably wouldn't be there very long. I want to tell this while we're on the show. So this kid is from, is at Pahokee. He's from Glades County. If you were a college football coach and you have not recruited the muck, it would be worth your time. One of the most unique things that's ever occurred to me in recruiting is, and I did it by accident. This would have been 2009, I believe. Our offensive line coach, Darren Hiller, he recruited Dade in Broward County in Florida. We had to go recruit some JUCO guys. And at that time, I was recruiting the Florida Panhandle all the way over to Jacksonville. We had some kids there. Well, he had to go recruit Cali JUCOs. And he's like, hey, we had like 6 guys down there. He's like, hey, can you go take over for that for me while I'm there? Sure. So for 6 straight weeks, Sunday night, I flew from Memphis to Jacksonville, Florida. Did that for 2 days. And then I flew to Miami and I started doing this deal. Well, I ended up signing a kid. I'll leave his name out of here, but I ended up signing a kid out of Belglade, Florida, at Glade Central. You leave West Palm Beach and you go, that would be west on Highway 98. And for 30 miles, Neal, there is nothing but sugarcane as far as you can see. And when I say you feel like you just left the planet and you're in a third world country or a different planet or something. Sugarcane as far as you can see, and you're just driving. You almost get a little disoriented because it's like you're in a boat with no horizon, right? You're just driving forever.
Yeah.
And then after about 30 minutes, you see the smoke coming up, and it's the sugarcane factory, and it's just a third world country down there. But people don't realize this town's got like 20,000 people in it. They've had over 60 NFL players come out of this little B town.
Yeah.
All right. And this is where ESPN did a special called something about the muck, but it was like Edrin James and all this stuff. They were running, the kids would chase down rabbits in the sugarcane. When they burn the sugarcane, the rabbits will come flying and they will chase them down and hit them with a stick, and they'll sell those rabbits and make money. And they trained because the dirt is just, it's like the most fertile topsoil the darkest, most fertile topsoil you've ever seen. So I go there, and I'm not going to say the kid's name, but I go there to see this kid. It's like 1:00 in the afternoon, and he's a corner, a 6'3", 200-pound corner that can run. He had gotten some trouble, but he was considered one of the top corners in the country, but nobody was recruiting him because of his issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, I want to go investigate it because we got a chance to sign this kid because everybody else is going away. It's like 1:00 in the afternoon. I go see the coach, and he's like, hey, coach, are you going to go by and see my grandma? Yeah, no problem. It's 1:00 in the afternoon. Sure. So I'm thinking I'm just going to leave the school, go see grandma. No, he gets in the car and rides with me. Sorry, NCAA, the statute of limitations up. That's totally against the rules. So he rides with me. The coach just lets him go. Middle of the school day, just gets in the car with me, and we drive about 1.5 miles down to see his grandmother. So his mother's in jail, dad's in jail, and we pull up to the house, and it's a condemned house. All right?
Okay.
It's a little bitty brick house. It's probably like a 2-bedroom, 1,000 square foot shotgun house, we used to call them. And we go in there. She's running power from a neighbor on an extension cord through a window. She had a hot plate with a plug, and a lamp, and a recliner. Grandmother was 77 years old. All right. This was the first time it's ever happened to me, ever. So I'm sitting there, and at the time I'm 33, 32 years old, whatever it was. And I'm in there doing my spiel, trying to get the kid to come when the kid's sitting, and I'm on a fold-out chair. I'm sitting there, 77 years old. She just fires a joint up right in front of me at 77 years old, and just smoking away.
Yeah.
Just while we're talking. And just like it was just every day.
Different world.
And when I come back, and I talked to coach, and he's like, well, tell me about it. I said, well, look, if you don't think this kid's gonna fail a drug test, I mean, the grandmother's sitting there smoking in front of me. Good kid. I mean, he's a good kid, the whole deal. But that's just a different world, man.
Yeah.
And it was totally acceptable. Just
Yeah.
a different world. But yeah, that was my muck story. All right, we'll wrap this thing up. I did. I know you spent all afternoon yesterday in here watching the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
My man Wyndham Clark was a stone cold killer yesterday. There has been some controversy on social media. He had a ball in the rough, and he went to place, which I don't understand why they do it. I mean, I know there's a golfing thing to it where they put clubs down to see the launch angle, all that stuff. But when he puts his club down, the ball moves. That's a stroke penalty.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, it just oscillated. No, it moved. It should have been a stroke penalty, and that would have tied him for the lead. But that's the controversy there. I call it, karma, because Roy McIlroy got one stuck in the bank and all that, and it didn't get done there. And this is something I thought you would find interesting. A lot of golfers complained. A lot of fans are complaining. So this was at the LA Country Club, the Playboy Mansion off the 14th hole. Very, very uppity golf club.
Yes.
Members of the country club bought up over half of the tickets that were supposed to go to fans. They bought them ahead of time, so they would not have riffraff at their country club. And so a lot of the stands were empty.
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick was pissed because it was just a very. I mean, you'll see more people at the FedEx event.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people there because they bought up all the deals. So I thought that was funny.
I'm not surprised. That doesn't surprise me even a little bit.
I mean, downtown LA now. Downtown LA. The course was, I as a golf guy, they should never have it there. That was too easy of a course. And then they changed it. The setup was different every day. So after that Thursday we were in here and they went low, they started. All they could do was move the pins. I don't know. I wasn't a fan, but whatever.
I had never heard of Wyndham Clark, but
he's relatively new.
Yeah.
He's been on tour for several years, but he's been okay. But he won a big event this year. He's playing better, so he's up there. All right, I want to finish with this. I know you'd love this. So after the U.S. Open on Saturday, I watched. We had UFC Fight Night.
Mm-hmm.
Keith Patterson is one of the better referees in UFC. So you'll see Herb Dean, which I'm sure you've heard of Herb Dean. Come on now.
I haven't, but go ahead.
Herb Dean is the main referee, does all the main events. Well, this guy, he usually does this. He's usually the second or third guy. Very good referee. Well, what they do is whoever's refereeing that week, they may referee 2 or 3 fights, right? And they just rotate until they go main event backwards. Well, Keith Patterson had the co-main event, and the other match that he had before that was in the prelims. Well, this guy was choking. This guy was choking somebody out. He was on the backside of it, and the guy's hand was up. He thought he was choked out. Wasn't even close. Well, he grabs his hand to see if he was, and the guy snapped, like, get away from me kind of deal. And he hit his guy's back. He stops the fight, says he's tapped out. And this guy loses his mind, says, I did not tap out. They reviewed the fight. They went to a replay, which I've rarely see in UFC. They go to instant replay, and they determined it was a no contest. It cost those guys a lot of money.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, Keith Patterson, really good.
Yeah.
Visibly shaken. So he goes for another whatever. He comes back for the co-main event. In the co-main event, it's got a guy that's really good facing somebody that's not very good. The guy slams him on his head. The guy's out. Okay, like he goes, what I call cockroaching, when they have some kind of brain trauma and their hands go rigid.
Mm-hmm.
For about 45 seconds, he did not defend his face, and this other guy's just pounding his ass. Boom, 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 elbows. And Keith Patterson shook. He will not stop the fight because he just had that happen. He let it go so long. I mean, everybody was going, it was bad.
Yeah, that's not good.
It was bad. He let what happened earlier in the fight, like he was not stopping that fight. But it went on. I bet he hit him 40 to 50 times in the face without being defended, without none of this.
Yeah, see, that's the stuff that people like me, I don't have no interest in that at all.
Yeah,
I don't want to see that.
That was bad.
Yeah.
And then what you hate about it is he is a really good referee, always makes the right decisions, all that stuff. But he was so messed up because he knew he cost fighters that didn't make anything a lot of money, and it just messed him up for the whole day. So that was, if you get a chance to go back and watch that, that was pretty blatant. That's all I got, boss.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up there. A little quicker show today. We'll be back on Thursday with one more show before we take a little, I guess, summer 4th of July holiday kind of break. We'll take at least a couple of weeks, and then my July is going to be a little weird with media days and some personal stuffs. But we'll get to all that in a little bit. But we'll come back on Thursday. Another show of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes. Zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. For Tyler, I'm Neal. Take care.